Throughout my marketing career, I've tested over 24 different SEO tools. But in this video, I'm not going to overwhelm you with all 24. I'm actually only going to give you 9 tools that I use on a daily and weekly basis. These are the tools that help me grow my own website from 0 to over 100,000 visitors per month, all from SEO. And just to be clear, this video is not sponsored at all. These are the tools that I trust and I recommend to all my friends and clients. To make things simple, I'm going to walk through the entire SEO workflow, and I'm going to group the tools in different stages of that workflow that will take you from having no website visitors to having actual real revenue from SEO. Okay, first one, research and planning. The first tool here is using a combination of Google Autocomplete and Google Keyword Planner. I've talked about autocomplete quite a bit on my own blog and other YouTube videos, but I still think this is the best way to do keyword research, no matter if you're a beginner or an expert. And the idea is simple. You go to Google in an incognito window so it doesn't have your previous search results, and you just start typing in things related to what you want to write about. So for example, if I typed in best, I could say rank tracker. You can see best rank tracking software, best rank tracking tools, best rank tracker. What you're basically seeing it populate here is these are keywords that people are searching for in real time. So for example, I wanted to create an article around the SEO rank trackers that are out there, and I noticed that best rank tracker software was one that came up as the first option. If I actually search this keyword up, you can see I now rank number 1 for that keyword. But at one point I didn't, and I noticed that there were actually a lot of different articles on the first page, like this one from Zapier, that ranked for the keyword best rank tracker, and that was the keyword they targeted. There was other ones where I saw that they were targeting the keyword best rank tracker tool and even free keyword rank checkers. So I wasn't sure why best rank tracker software was showing up, but there were no pages on the first page of Google actually targeting that term. So whatever your niche is, you can literally type in anything: best adjustable dumbbells, best beds, best frames, but you have to know what niche you're in. And I have a few videos on that that I'll put a video on if I were to start a blog in 2026, what I would do if you want to figure out your niche. But any of these keywords, you can keep pressing space and just type in random letters and backspace and see what auto completes. And as you can see, these are pretty good keywords. And you can just keep pressing letters. Now, going back to my example of the best rank tracker software, I didn't know if anybody was actually searching for that keyword because nobody was targeting that keyword on the first page. So this brings us nicely into this tool, which I'm grouping with Google Autocomplete, is Google Keyword Planner. And you can access this by creating a free Google Ads account, going to Tools, going to Keyword Planner, and now you have options to either discover new keywords, which I'm going to use a different tool for that right after this I'll mention. But really I use Google Keyword Planner for this get search volume and forecast. And here I can paste in my keyword from before that I found through Google Autocomplete, and I can see things like average monthly searches, the 3-month change if there has been any, or year-over-year change. This will generally be trending up if the keyword has been trending up, or trending down if it's been trending down, and then competition, which is low. So this is related to Google Ads, not necessarily Google SEO like organic, but it is a good indicator on how many people are actually searching that keyword and how many people are actually bidding on that keyword. So in this case, it's a low competition, and I saw this as well, which is why I went after that keyword. And as you saw, I was ranking number 1. So you can pair your Google Autocomplete keyword strategy with Google Keyword Planner to identify the search volume of the keywords that you find through Google Autocomplete. Lots of Google. Okay, let's go into our next tool. And this next one is Ahrefs. Everybody knows what this tool is if you're in the SEO space. And I mainly use Ahrefs for competitor analysis and a little bit of keyword research. So in Ahrefs, if you go to Site Explorer, you can actually type the URL of any website and see all of their stats from how they're doing in AI citations, their organic traffic, their amount of keywords they're ranking for, their DR, which is like their domain rating or domain authority. You can see how their traffic has trended over the several months. And you have some other things in here where you can check out their backlinks, and then you can check out their top pages that they're ranking for. So here you can see a list of all the top pages, how much traffic they're getting, and then their top keyword that they're ranking for and what the position is. So this is kind of a great way to look at competitors and what's going on. I tend to not copy my competitors or really pay attention to them in my own niche, but when I work with clients, I do like analyzing the space. And if you're a product marketer or you work with clients, I think it's a good idea to understand what the landscape looks like. So this is how I do that. I use Ahrefs. So the other feature I use in Ahrefs is the Keyword Explorer, and I mainly use this if I can't find any ideas within Google Autocomplete. So for example, let's say I wanted to start a cycling blog. I could just type in the word cycling, or I could type in bike and hit search. And then it'll give me results for bike and cycling based off the search volume, its keyword difficulty, its global search volume, and all that kind of stuff. But I actually go to matching terms here. And now we can see a bunch of related keywords related to either bike or cycling. And now I can narrow this down. So I can either hit include any word, and I can do something like best or how to and hit apply. And then we can see now it's filtered by any keyword that has best or how to with bike and cycling in it. So here we can see best electric bike, best exercise bike, best bike lock, all these best how to measure bike size, how to draw a bike, just a bunch of different keyword ideas. Now, another way that I like to narrow this down even more is, let's say you're a brand new website or startup and you don't really have a huge domain authority, or what you can do is actually look at this feature here. It says lowest DR in the top 10, and we can say a domain rating of 10, which is pretty low, in the top 5 results or the top 10 results. Let's just say top 10 results and hit apply and show results. Now this is going to show us keywords that have either bike or cycling that include the keywords best or how to in that keyword. And also one of the top ranking articles for that keyword has a domain authority of no more than 10. So this gives us a good sign that these are very low competition keywords that we can target if we're a brand new website. And if we write a better article than the current page that is ranking for that keyword that has a domain rating of under 10, then chances are we can outrank them. So in this case, I can look at best cycling gloves, and we can even see the search volume. As you can see, it trends pretty much the winter time. It tends to go down and it goes up in the summer months, which is interesting. I thought it'd be the opposite. And then if we scroll through, we can see all the websites that rank for that result. And we can see that this article here, or this page ranking in number 9, has a domain rating of 1. So this is like a brand new blog, and someone's wrote this article. And as you can see, buy on Amazon. This is actually an affiliate link that goes straight to a whole list of gloves that you can buy. So this is an affiliate blog that we're seeing here. And we can see that they have 3,200 words and they're getting around 183 visits per month to this blog post. So that's how I use Ahrefs. Now Ahrefs is not free and it's not a cheap tool. So you can also use SEMrush, which is like a close alternative to it. It's kind of like just Coke and Pepsi. I like SEMrush as well. The cool thing about SEMrush is that they actually have a free plan that you can analyze your competitors with. So for example, in SEMrush, you can literally create a free account and type in any website into the top search bar, and you can see how they're doing, pretty much like from traffic to their top ranking keywords to how much keywords they have that are informational. All this stuff is in here, and this is free. I just made a free account and I'm able to access all this information. So you can literally look at your competitors as well using SEMrush if you don't want to pay for any tools just yet. Which brings us nicely into the next tool, which if you're on a budget and you can't afford SEMrush or Ahrefs, a great alternative to both of those is Key Search. Key Search is literally the first SEO tool that I started paying for back in, I believe, 2016, 2017-ish. And it is pretty much an Ahrefs or a SEMrush, but it's not as accurate. It is very budget friendly. It's like a fraction of the cost. But as you can see here, I searched SEO software in the search bar and I can just analyze the top ranking results, who they are. I can get some keyword ideas here. And there's also some other features in here like competitive analysis, YouTube, rank tracking, content assistant. To be honest, I don't use really any of these. I've used the rank tracker in the past, which I do think it is a pretty decent rank tracker. If we look at some keywords that I've been tracking across my own site and how they're doing, you can see that it works. But really, I only use this tool nowadays for actually the brainstorm feature. So with Google Autocomplete, if we revisit that real quick, when you're looking up an incognito window, if you're typing in stuff into autocomplete and you're pressing enter and then you're backspacing and you're searching a new keyword, it kind of is remembering your previous search history results, so it's populating kind of biased results even when you're incognito, which is kind of annoying. But in key search within the brainstorm feature, I can actually do that same autocomplete thing, and as you can see, it autocompletes perfectly every time. It never saves the search history from the previous search. So I can say best adjustable, again, dumbbells, beds, and then we can also see this populate across Yahoo, which who's really using Yahoo these days, but we can see Bing and we can see YouTube. So these are actually good keyword ideas too. Most of the time they'll kind of one-to-one match, but a lot of times they also won't. Like in Google, when someone searches best adjustable, the first thing they're searching for is dumbbells, but in Bing they're searching for beds. So you can see, and on YouTube it's dumbbells. So you can see kind of the different search behavior, but I just use key search mainly these days for the brainstorm feature. Okay, that completes the research and planning phase. Now let's go on to writing and creating. The first tool in this category I use is called ClearScope. And ClearScope is a great tool. It basically, if I go into their app, you can see that the main feature of this tool is they have these content reports. And here I can generate a report on any sort of keyword that I want to go after. So for example, I can type in a keyword like SEO examples and I can click the report and it'll start generating that report for me. And now once it's loaded, I can hit get started. And here I can either draft with AI, optimize existing content, or start from a blank draft. I'm just going to start from a blank draft. And now basically what this does is ClearScope goes and it scans Google for the keyword SEO examples, our target keyword, and it's going to scan all the top results and see what keywords they all have in common with each other, and then it's going to spit it out over here. So as we're writing our piece of content, so we are writing about SEO, you can see as we write, whenever we have one of these target keywords, it'll highlight it and it'll also tell us, if we've included it, how many times is a typical use of each keyword, how many times we've used it, if it's been used as a heading or just regular text. And you can see all of these keywords here. And it'll also tell us the typical word count for this keyword is around, in this case, 2,200 to 2,800. The readability score, so this will all auto-populate as we start writing, our word count, and then the content grade. So right now it's an F because I'm included mostly none of these keywords. But as we start writing, in this case it says suggested A-. I generally just like to shoot for, it says A+. I generally like to shoot for an A- because we don't want to force it and make it sound unnatural. But in this case, there's also other things in here like research, so we can see some questions that people are asking related to this keyword that we can have as our headings. We can also see things like outlines, and if we go to, say, competitors here, we can see how each page on the first page of Google is doing for this keyword. As you can see, we're down here, so we need some work to do, and that's going to be a future video that we're going to talk about this. Not going to spoil it in this one. But anyways, the other last thing I love about ClearScope is that I can go to this little link icon and I can enable a share link. So if I'm working with other people on my team or I'm working with freelance writers, I can literally give them a link to this report, which if I just go to it, as you can see, it just populates that same report. So a freelance writer can write in here, or I can take this link and actually go into a Google Doc, and with the ClearScope extension, I can go to it and hit start. And here I can actually just paste over my link. And then boom, we have that ClearScope interface within our Google Doc, and I actually prefer writing in a Google Doc for all my blog posts. Now, if you want to use ClearScope, I do have a discount code you can use below. It is an affiliate link. I will get a small kickback at no extra cost to you. In fact, it'll actually be cheaper for you because it's a discount link. But if still ClearScope might be a bit too expensive, there's also another alternative you can use called Surfer SEO. Same Coke versus Pepsi kind of deal going on, but Surfer SEO is also another great platform that you can use that does something very similar. I just really love how ClearScope, how clean it is, and I just love the user interface and this Google Docs integration. Okay, so the next tool is Also Asked, and I really like this tool because it helps me with creating H2 headings and H3 headings when I'm writing my blog posts, and just to know kind of what I should be talking about. For example, if I type in the keyword best adjustable dumbbells, I'm going to change this to the United States and hit live search. We can see now that we have this kind of map of all the questions being asked related to best adjustable dumbbells. We can see this what are the best adjustable dumbbells on the market, and based off of that we can see even more questions related to this, like which is better, Power Block or Bowflex, a bunch more. Can adjustable dumbbells replace a full set? Like, these are great headings. Like, that's a great one to include in a blog post about best adjustable dumbbells, because these are questions that people may be asking. And if you're trying to get into AI search and track LLM prompts, which the last tool on this list, wait for it, is amazing, these are great ways to think of prompts to be tracking. But anyways, this is a great tool if you want to figure out what questions people are asking related to your keyword. And it's literally just pulling these questions from the people also ask section in Google. So you technically can find ideas doing it that way, but I found that using this tool is just a really quick and easy way to find a bunch of questions when you just input in one keyword. Okay, the last tool in this category is Claude, and I mostly use this to help me proofread my articles and to create custom code embeds. So in Claude, I basically use this prompt. I'm going to be using speech to text to write a blog post. I want you to proofread it for grammar mistakes and split it up into paragraphs where it makes sense. Do not add or change many words and keep my same voice and tone, just proofread for grammar. So I kind of prime it with that. Then in a Google Doc, basically when I'm writing my article and I have ClearScope open so I can see where keywords to include, go ahead and create my content outline. And if you look up in Google content outlines, I have a blog post on how I do this. I also have a video on how to write an SEO blog post, which I'll link above right now. And basically, I'll first have my H2 headings, which I find through using Also Ask. But from there, I basically just click on tools and I go to voice typing, and then this mic pops up. And I actually discovered this workflow because typing so much, I kind of got carpal tunnel for a while, and it was hurt so much to type. So I started using speech to text. So in a Google Doc, when this is open, I can basically press this mic and I can just start talking like, hey, this is a blog post about the best SEO examples. I'm going to show you 10 different examples that I found across the web. And I can hit space like that, as you can see, and I can just do this, and I can do a bullet point. This is bullet point example 1. This is bullet point example 2. This is bullet point example 3. Obviously, I have to give it some time, and it's glitching a little bit because I'm using this mic to record this video. But I just plug in, I don't have them with me here, but I plug in those Apple earbuds with the mic, and I literally just sit there and I start talking out my blog posts. And then once I talk it out, because I do this in sections too, so like 1H2 I'll talk out, and basically because the grammar is just atrocious, like this is Mike, like the name Mike, but it was just Mike, I'll take this and back into Claude, I'll just paste it in. And then Claude will proofread it. As you can see, it's proofreading what I wrote. And it'll basically say the main changes I made, but then I'll just take this and I'll paste it in. And as you can see, this mic and I can just start talking like, hey, this is a blog post about the best SEO examples. Kind of bad. But if I reread this mic and I can just start talking like, hey, this is a blog post about the best SEO examples. I'm going to show you 10 different examples that I found across the web. And this, you want to definitely like go through and read through it. Like, I don't want these M dashes here. So you can talk with Claude and kind of refine it. Like, hey, don't add any M dashes. I said like, don't add extra words or extra things, and it'll actually follow it. So this has been really helpful in speeding up my blog post writing time. It used to take me like 4 to 5 hours to write a blog post. Now it can take me about 2 hours. So it definitely does help. And this is how I've been using AI, not to write content, but to proofread content for me, and it's completely eliminated my use of using Grammarly or Hemingway. So this has been really great. Now, the other way I use Claude is actually to create custom code embeds. So I have an article on the best newsletter platforms, and in this article, I basically have a table right here, and I have some call to actions to my affiliate link like this. These I actually made with custom code. So I'm not going to go too in depth on how to actually do this because it is pretty long, but you basically just want to talk to Claude and tell it what you want. So in this case, I said, create a table out of the list I have below. I'm using Webflow and I want to create a custom code embed table. It's a bit repetitive, but basically what I did was I went through my blog posts and I highlighted all the features and everything of the tools that I mentioned. So let's say I just take this and I paste it here. And for this kind of coding stuff, I like to use Opus. So this is on the paid plan of Claude. And then I can just hit go. And then it starts creating this artifact. And it's literally just writing out the code for this custom code embed. And then within Webflow or whatever CMS you're using, WordPress, Ghost, whatever, I use Webflow. It's my favorite one for SEO. I basically have this custom code embed here where this is the table. So as you can see, this is the table that it basically created. And you're gonna have to do some iterations with this. So like in this case, this looks pretty bad. So it took me like probably 30 iterations to get my table correctly. I eventually had to give it links that I wanted to. And I said, when someone hovers over and clicks, it should open this link in a new tab. So you just have to talk to it and create iterations. The first go that you do this, you're not gonna be able to like one shot it. You gotta do like multiple iterations by just simply talking to it and iterating over time. As you can see, you can then view the code and then view what it's going to look like. And you can just take this code when it's ready and just hit copy and paste it in as a custom code embed. Okay, and that completes it for the creation part. Let's get into the last section, which is about analytics and tracking. So everybody talks about Google Search Console, and that's a given, so I'm not including it in this video. But what I do want to talk about is Bing Webmaster Tools, which is super underrated. If you care about ranking in ChatGPT, you need to make sure that you set up Bing Webmaster Tools. And if you already have Google Search Console set up, it just is like a one-click import to Bing Webmaster Tools. But what's really cool that I like about Bing is that there's actually some keyword research options in here. And I can do recommendations and I can see a bunch of different technical SEO errors that are happening with my site. Google Search Console can also do this, but I found Bing is actually a bit more in depth about what's wrong with your website, and it's completely free. There's just so many different cool features within Bing Webmaster Tools that I highly recommend. If you don't have it set up and you do have Google Search Console set up, just sign in to Bing Webmaster Tools with the same email that you have your Google Search Console account with, and then it'll be a one-click import right away. And highly recommend that you submit your sitemap to this platform as well so you can start showing up in Bing and ChatGPT. Now, the next tool is Looker Studios, and this is a free Google tool where you can actually integrate your Google Search Console data into to create dashboards. And this is what I do for all of my clients. And it's actually the most accurate SEO dashboard out of any tool you'll ever use because it's using your Google first-party data. So here, I've done things like being able to track my top landing pages, my keywords I'm ranking for. I can see all my Google Search Console data. I can even set up tracking through seeing how many newsletter subscribers I'm getting and what pages those newsletter subscribers are coming from. So you can track signups and conversions and put them all in a dashboard. I'm not going to show my own data right now. I show all of this in my courses on my site and how to set all this up, but there are a bunch of free templates too for this. I just wanted to mention Looker Studio because I think it's one of the best tools for creating SEO dashboards. You don't need to pay for it, and it's probably going to be better than any other dashboard in terms of data that's free. And last in this section, we have Peak AI, which if you're into AI search and LLM tracking, all the craze, AEO, LLMO, LLM SEO, whatever people are calling it. I think the term now is AEO, Answer Engine Optimization, instead of Search Engine Optimization. Peak AI is a tool that I've been using and testing more, and I think it's my favorite one. It has the cleanest user interface. If I just log in, you'll see it right away. So many of these tools in the marketing space have really terrible user interfaces and they're just ugly to look at. Peak AI is not one of those. It's a great design. And here You can basically track your own website against competitors and see how you're doing an AI search across Google Gemini, across ChatGPT, across Claude, and a bunch of different LLMs. So for example, in this overview section, I have Marketer Milk that I'm tracking. Now, this is best if you're like a software company or you're a service business, and you sell either a physical product or a service. Marketer Milk is just a media website, so it's kind of hard to basically, a lot of these competitors, Zapier, SEMrush, ActiveCampaign, HubSpot, these are all like SaaS tools. So it makes a lot of sense to track SaaS tools, but I've been using this just to kind of see how this whole space works. And what's really cool is you can track prompts, and it can also give you suggested prompts based off of your own website. So I've given it Marketer Milk, and this is in beta right now, but this volume feature can show you how many people are actually searching this prompt in these LLMs. Granted, it's not like an exact amount, it's just an estimate on like if it's searched a lot or a little, which I think is super cool. I've yet to see any other tool do this. But for example, I'm tracking what are the best AI marketing tools. We can see the mentions, which again are actual tools. But if I click into this, we can see some other thing that's going on with here with recent chats. So the best AI marketing tools in 2025, this is on Perplexity. If I click through this, we can see some of the sources, like, oh, here's my article that's ranking in this source. So I can see that I'm a source for that. I can see how it's doing in Google AI overviews as well. I can also look at some other prompts like best SEO tools. And again, I can see track this across ChatGPT, Perplexity, Google. For example, in Perplexity, I can click this and we can see what's showing up there. And then we can also go into sources. Here in sources, I can see all these competitors and other sites that are ranking for very similar keywords I'm ranking to. So it's pulling up Marketer Milk, and as you can see, I have this 20% visibility that I'm using in citations. We can see Reddit is obviously a big one, YouTube, Zapier, just a bunch of different websites here. I can even click on one of these like Zapier, and I can see based off of the prompts that I'm tracking where Zapier is being mentioned. So this is just, and you can go to competitors and add your own competitors, and it'll suggest competitors. So this is just like an overall amazing tool. I'm not going to go into like a full review of it. If you actually search Peak AI review, I wrote a full review on this entire tool, but I just wanted to mention it in this video as one of my favorite tools for you tracking LLMs. And again, nobody is paying me to say any of this stuff. It's just cool tools that I want to showcase out there. And if you liked any of these tools, think I missed any, or there's any future videos on SEO that you want to see, please leave a comment below, like this video, and subscribe for more. Hit the bell icon so you're always notified, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.